Hey all, Hipper here. We've reached the Yahagi in my showcase of builds with the new Takao commander along with Azure Lane Baltimore. Basically this is the build I'm using on my Atago as well at the moment, where I've switched Müller for Arpeggio Takao. And on Atago it gives me about 0.2 seconds faster rudder, while here on Yahagi you can see I'm down to 3.8, and that was only 0.1. I'm down from 3.9, so really there's not much to get here, and that is a trend with the lower tier cruisers, unfortunately. Switching the inspirations here, I'm giving up 1.5 knot of speed for 0.1 second rudder, and that's not worth it, I can tell you that. I'm going to put Müller back on this Mikawa build here, and the same thing for Atago, because Atago was already at 2-second rudder, and that's fine, you don't need 1.8. And the problem is that the lower tier cruisers, they don't benefit as much from 3% extra rudder as the higher tier cruisers does. And that's because the lower tier cruisers, the rudder is already low from like the beginning, because they don't get the 20% decrease and the 40% decrease. So Yahagi here, I think the rudder starts at about 7 or 8 seconds, I think, something like that. Compare that to tier 7, where some of the cruisers, their rudder starts at like 14, 15 seconds. So obviously then 3% of 15 seconds is more than 3% of 7 seconds, for example. So that's why the higher tier cruisers, they benefit more from the 3% increase. Now, had the increase been 6%, just like Azure Lane Baltimore, it would definitely have been usable down here in the lower tiers. But as it is, I think Exeter really is the only ship where it makes any sense below tier 7 so far. That's not to say I don't enjoy Yahagi, because I do. It's definitely a better ship now that I've got Azure Lane Baltimore on here and getting the rudder below 4 seconds. It's still a little bit too slow rudder for me, but it's, like I said, definitely a lot better than before. It's still not where I want it to be. 3.2 seconds, something like that. Other than that, I'm not really satisfied yet. And here we get to use it actually, which is perfect. But like I said, I enjoy Yahagi, and it's really the only low tier cruiser that I play regularly, apart from Exeter, which is really middle tier. And that's because Yahagi is a lot like Atago, I guess. I mean, it has torps, very long range torps, by the way, and it's really fast and it's quite maneuverable. Not as good as Atago, but it's okay. And as you can tell here, just because you've got an agile build on your ship doesn't mean you actually get to use it, because I'm kind of stuck in an island stalemate here for at least this part of the battle here. So instead I'm using my sonar to make life miserable for that destroyer, and then one of my teammates is able to kill him, which is perfect. So it's pretty much standard fare here for agile cruisers. Head in, try to take the cap. If you can't take it right off the bat, then pop the sonar and see if you can take the destroyer out in the process. And then after capping, retreat and burn down any enemies that try to retake the cap. That's about it. And I'm lucky I have plenty of support here, so I'm quite happy. So I'm just waiting to cap here, and then I'm going to continue to B and try to well, do the whole thing over again, basically. So I noticed the long range torps here. I can't remember exactly how far they go out, but it's 10 kilometers or more. So you can really set up some quite nasty ambushes using these things here. And it's fun. It's fun. It reminds me of Atago, like I said. And while you're staying relatively safe, because this cruiser here is squishy. It's not an Atago when it comes to durability. because all the armor on this thing here is blue, and that's really bad. So if you get hit, there's a good chance that you're going to eat a citadel. So it's a punishing ship in some ways, but it's also a very fun ship. And like, I haven't played it a lot until Azure Lane Baltimore came along, but now I do, and it's fun. It's fun. I would recommend this premium if you don't have it already, alongside, or maybe not alongside Exeter, but if you're looking for like a low to mid tier cruiser, premium cruiser, that will allow you to escape the madness of tier 7 for the moment, because tier 7 at the moment is just absolutely horrible. I don't know what has happened, but yeah, the average play is just terrible, and I have personally like withdrawn myself from tier 7 for a while because I just can't stand it at the moment. So I am finding myself more down here at tier 4 in Yahagi, and tier 3 in Yubari, and tier 5 in Exeter, for example. Of course, I play some other ships as well, but that's primarily it. And like I said, I don't know what has happened. Is it a holiday somewhere in the world, or has Wargaming nerfed something on the server? I don't know what it is, but yeah, the play is just horrendous, especially at tier 7 at the moment. And it has been bad before many times, and it's always kind of bad. But at the moment, it is intolerable, definitely. And I'm not the only one noticing this. So I don't know what has happened, but something has happened. So while I was heading over to B, one of my teammates actually managed to take the cap. So there's really no point for me to head over there. We could go for A, but it's better just to stay here and defend B in case the Reds start to push. And then in the meantime, I'm just gonna rid this flank here of Reds, so that we are absolutely sure that we don't have anything to worry about over here. Should we decide to push more like than B, so we are moving on towards A or something like that. I don't like to leave a battleship left here, because usually it'll come back to bite you. If I was leaving and going for A, I can assure you that California there would citadel everyone suddenly on this side of the map, and I would have to come back and retake these caps here. That's usually what happens. So I'm going to try to make him eat some torps, good old Atago style here. And I keep forgetting that this cruiser here has 2 banks of torps. I don't know why, but it's just, it happens all the time. So that's why I was I was desperately trying to get my torps back in line again, because the firing angles on Yahagi are pretty bad. You have to show complete broadside, and obviously that's not fun in this ship here because it's so squishy. So yeah, plan your torp runs well ahead. You cannot afford to miss, basically. So but I said it's a nice change of pace to find myself down here at tier 4 and tier 5 for a while. And like I said, I'm not the only one who seeks refuge down here for whatever reason that is going on over tier 7. So that's the battleship down here, and like not much he could do there. And that's one of the things I like about tier 4 and tier 5. I think like the average play style and like finesse and just general skill in the game is higher than pretty much any other tier. If you go tier 1, 2, 3, there's too many new people in there, and tier 6 and 7, yeah, it's full of people who have campaign ships and premiums, and so that really leaves tier 4 and tier 5 as the golden middle, I think. The only problem is that I don't have a true agile cruiser at these tiers yet. Like Yahagi is close and Exeter is very close, but they're not still unfortunately. Not a single cruiser can go below 3 seconds at tier 4 or tier 5. And until that happens, it's just not going to be as much fun as tier 7, when tier 7 is actually like tolerable to play, which it isn't at the moment. And also another favorite of mine, the Königsberg, with a full agile build using these same two commanders here. The rudder is still around 5 seconds, 4.8 or something like that, which is quite slow. So I really hope that we get another premium tier 4 or tier 5, where the rudder is actually able to go below 3 seconds. I was hoping Yahagi would be the one, but it's not. And that's actually really weird, I think, because I think this ship needs faster rudder. It's so squishy, and I know it has long-range torps, but that's about it. It could really benefit from cutting a second off that rudder there, or giving it a heal, possibly. But I guess maybe that's too much. That was Yahagi here with a full agile build with a Takao and a Lane Baltimore, and actually a premium cruiser that I quite enjoy. So I hope you enjoyed this video here, and I'll see you out there.